to Breakfast with Spaniels with Dr. Judy Morgan.
Debbie Cooper Moses is first, followed closely by Teresa Carpenter. Can always count on Teresa in the morning. Let's see how many people are up after crazy night of fireworks and holiday.
Remember, you can purchase all of Dr. Morgan's products at her website at www.drjudymorgan.com. Now it's time to sit
Milk
back,
and goats.
relax, and enjoy the show.
Yeah, we keep talking about maybe getting a cow, but I don't know what I would do with that much milk. We don't drink milk. I could try to make cheese, and I could definitely make butter, but what would you do with that much? Anyway, good morning. So I hope you all survived the fireworks. Our dogs really just don't care, which is awesome. 3 of them are too deaf to care, and the 4th one just doesn't care. Yay, Gabby. She is pretty chill. Because we live right next to a lake, and there were fireworks over the lake. There were fireworks every at about 9 o'clock last night from our neighbor out at the farm, and he said that the neighbors on the other side of us were setting off incredible fireworks and loud bangs, and so our neighbor actually drove over to check on our animals, and he said they were pretty flipped out. So Hugh and I jumped in the truck and drove over there and put some lights on for them, and just generally checked on them, gave them some more hay to try to entertain them. But the horses and hinnies and donkeys were just pacing, ears up, looking over in that direction. And the big horses, Gwen's, the big drafts, were nowhere to be found. Our neighbor said they were in the far back corner, edged up against his property, as far away as they could get from the fireworks that were going off on the other side. So it was a rough night for them. But luckily, our dogs, like I said, and the cats, I don't even know where they were. If they were affected, they were hiding under something. But there was no turmoil at the house, so that was nice. But for so the title today was Fats, Fireworks, and Fire or something, or the 4th. So how does all of that connect together? Well, for those of you who have animals who are prone to anxiety, you're probably going to get some bloody or mucusy stools over the next couple of days, because that anxiety can definitely show up as colitis, trouble in the bowels, but it's also very hot right now. Although my sister's at the Cape in Massachusetts, and she said it's been 60 and rainy and just very cool. We went over about 9 last night. So it's not uncommon after we have these very stressful events for our animals to then have that be followed by GI upset, whether that's going off their food, having bloody or mucousy stools, or vomiting. So don't be shocked if you see that in the next couple of days. You might want to preempt it by giving them a nice cooling diet. It's very hot out. There's been this huge heat wave out west, and that definitely has effect on the psychological aspect, and then the bowels secondarily. And part of that is that liver chi stagnation that we talk about so much. But it's basically causing heat because of the anxiety. We're getting heat in the middle of the body, and that affects the bowels, but it also can affect the pancreas. And I see more and more and more complaints about cases of pancreatitis. And what happens is everybody gets so wigged out once their pet has one pancreatitis attack that for the rest of their life, you're like, I can't, I need a low fat diet. I've got to keep them on 6% fat. Well, that's not sustainable, because the second thing that I see a lot of is I've been feeding my dog a pancreatitis diet and he's got a really dry, itchy coat. They need those fats in their diet. And I did a live on that probably a month or two ago about how important those fats are in the diet. You cannot sustain your animal on a very, very low fat diet for extended periods of time without having side effects. And those side effects are going to show up in a lot of different ways. First of all, omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. So we need that anti-inflammatory effect. We need those omega-3s for skin and coat health. We need them for heart health. We need them for brain health. We need them for joint health. So you can't skimp on those. You can't say, well, I'm not going to give him any fish oils or any marine oils because he had pancreatitis 4 years ago. It's just not going to work for their best health long term. Now, I have found that animals with a history of pancreatitis may be a little bit intolerant of the liquid fish oils, but do well with the encapsulated fish oils, which is why we have both on the website. But you can also use coconut oil, which is very easy on the pancreas, very, very good for inflammation in the gut. So, and very good for coat health and brain health. So you might look at MCT oil or coconut oil. But it's really important. So a lot of people, when they do homemade diets, they want to use chicken breast, skinless, boneless chicken breast as their meat base. That is such a deficient cut of meat. Very low fat, yes, works great to get over a bout of pancreatitis. But long-term health, I see so many recipes on the internet that start with a base of chicken and rice and then throw in some veggies of some sort. They're not balanced. They're hot. They're drying. They're just not a good diet for our pets. That's why we made the course. That's why we wrote the book, because it's so important to get all those ingredients in there. And then it's also important to look at, is your pet too hot? Is your pet too cold? What's the weather doing? If it's 100 degrees outside and you have a pet who tends toward being a little hot anyway, the last thing you want to do is feed lamb, venison, and chicken, which are all hot proteins. You don't want to feed food that is cooked at high temperatures to those animals. So it's really important to kind of get those concepts, and that's the simplest concept of the Chinese medicine. But my pet's too hot or my pet's too cold. If your pet's too cold, those are the guys who are going out and basking in the 100-degree weather, laying on the sidewalk and say, oh, let me soak up this sun. We see a lot of cats do that. They follow the heat and they follow the sunlight around the house. Cats in general tend to be a little more, I don't want to even say they're cold body, but they're desert animals. So they soak up the sun, they enjoy it. But a lot of our pets are too hot, particularly if they've been fed dry kibble, and particularly if they've been fed a chicken or lamb or venison or confinement raised beef kibble for a long time. So really important that you pay attention to what's going on with the weather, pay attention to what's going on with their anxiety level. So probably a lot of CBD got used last night. You may need it again tonight. Today is officially a holiday. Our bank's open. I guess there's no mail. I don't really know. But our bank is open, which kind of I thought was weird. But anyway, for those who were anxious during the storms, don't be surprised if you've got some GI upset over the next couple of days. You might want to make up some congee, a nice cooling congee with pork or with rabbit or with fish, something that's going to be really gentle on the system, easy to digest, something that works a lot of times really well for these guys. We say turkey and pumpkin a lot, but cod and butternut squash is another really good, easy to digest, so you can bake those and mix them together, and that's really gentle for these guys. Always hot in Florida. Yeah. I'm finding out it's hot a lot in North Carolina too, But it's okay. It's okay. I mean, our guys are in air conditioning all the time, so they don't really care. But it's just, word to the wise after we have these anxiety provoking weekends. So for animals who get scared from thunderstorms, we've got some storms coming up the coast this week. So that could cause some more anxiety for these guys. So just be prepared. Maybe have a little bit of RX clay or runs be done, something on hand. Some Coptis would work. That's nice and cooling. So whatever it takes to keep your kids healthy. Okay, I got to get going to the farm because I am playing babysitter today, my mother and I, because daycare apparently is closed and Gwen and Brandon want to go to the office and get some work done, silly people. So we're going to babysit. Gail, I think your dog is actually hot. He's just enjoying a good sunbath. I would cool that dog. All right, everybody have a wonderful day.